When my husband chose his ex over our son. The kidnappers sent a video. My son crying, "Mommy, save me." My husband stammered that there wasn't a cent left in our accounts. I checked our transaction history yesterday at 3 a.m. He transferred $500,000 to an account labeled Luna. When I confronted him, he fell to his knees with tears in his eyes. Her son needs heart surgery. I couldn't just stand by. I gently helped him up and wiped away his tears. It's okay. I just told the kidnappers, they can kill him. Chapter 1. What did you just say? David stared at me in shock, as if he hadn't heard me clearly. I said I've already told the kidnappers they can go ahead and kill him. My voice was calm, like I was discussing the weather. Are you insane? That's our son. Our little Tyler. David grabbed my arm, voice hoarse with terror and disbelief. I gently pulled free and walked to the coffee table to pour myself water. What else can we do? Do we have money? I took a sip, looking at him coldly. Didn't you say there wasn't a cent left in our accounts? David frantically pulled out his phone with shaking hands. I'll contact the kidnappers now. I'll figure something out. You think kidnappers will wait for you to slowly scrape together money? I cut him off. Or do you want to call the police? Let them chop off Tyler's fingers first. You sure about that? David froze. His phone clattered to the floor. Watching his desperate, helpless expression, I couldn't help but remember a scene from years ago. Back then, he'd just failed at his startup, drowning in debt. He'd knelt before me. Just like this, grabbing my hands, swearing, "Honey, trust me one more time. When I succeed, I'll give you and Tyler the best life. I swear I'll always put you two first." What a joke that turned out to be. David's phone rang. He jumped to grab it, hitting speakerphone. "Made up your mind yet?" came a raspy voice. 3 hours. No money, no mercy. Then Tyler's crying, "Mommy. Daddy save me. I'm so scared." My heart felt like it was being shredded, but my face remained ice cold. Got it. When time's up, do what you want. We don't have money. I hung up immediately. David nearly collapsed, face full of despair. "Sarah, have you lost your mind? That's our only child." I turned to him. "Now you care about saving him? When you transferred all our savings to Luna, did you think about Tyler? Now he's just paying the price for your choices." David broke down sobbing. "Please, Sarah, there has to be a way. Don't give up on Tyler." I watched this man who'd once promised to shield me and our son from every storm. Now he'd given all our money to Luna, putting our son in danger. My heart turned to ice as I quietly watched him call his parents with shaking hands. When my in-laws arrived, I was in the closet packing clothes. "Sarah. What are you doing? My grandson's been kidnapped and you're packing?" My mother-in-law's shrill voice cut through me like a knife. I didn't even turn around, continuing to stuff shirts into my suitcase. "Packing some things. Might need to take a trip." "A trip? What trip?" My father-in-law's beard bristled with rage. "Tyler's in the kidnapper's hands." My mother-in-law grabbed my arm with surprising strength. "What's wrong with you? Where's the money? Why aren't you paying to save him?" I shook her off, looking coldly at the elderly couple. "No money left. Not a cent." "How is that possible?" she shrieked. "Didn't you just sell a house? That was over $1 million. Where the money went, ask your precious son." I pulled up our bank records. On my phone. After the house sale, we paid off $500,000 on this house's mortgage. Should have left $500,000, but yesterday at 3 a.m., your son transferred it all away. David's face went deathly pale. "Transferred to who?" my mother-in-law asked suspiciously. I said slowly, "Yesterday, 3 a.m. $500,000 to Luna. That money could have saved Tyler." "Who's Luna?" My father-in-law looked confused. David quickly interjected, "A coworker, her son is sick. I was just lending her emergency money." "Oh." I laughed coldly. "Just lending? Then why don't you ask her to return it to save your son?" My mother-in-law grabbed David's arm. "Son, what's going on? Your son's life is on the line and you're worried about some coworker? Get that money back now." David stammered wordlessly, sweat beading on his forehead like soybeans. My mother-in-law shoved David. "Did you hear? This is all your fault. What do we do now?" My father-in-law shook with rage, pointing at David. "Ungrateful son. You'll be the death of me." Just then, David's phone rang again. He fumbled to answer, putting it on speaker. "Last chance," the kidnapper's raspy voice said. 1 hour. No money, no intact kid. Then Tyler's weak voice, "Daddy. Mommy. I'm so cold." A cold laugh from the phone, then silence. My mother-in-law collapsed, wailing, "My poor Tyler, what sins did we commit?" My father-in-law stamped his feet. "Quick. We still have the house mortgage it now." David clutched his hair, pacing like a madman. "Too late, there's no time." I watched this chaos and sent the kidnappers a voice message. Like I said, just kill him. We don't have a cent. 3 pairs of horrified eyes stared at me. What are you doing?" David stuttered. I smiled coldly, tossing my phone on the couch. "What's the rush? Maybe there'll be a miracle." My mother-in-law trembled with rage. "You monster. What are you trying to do? That's your own son." I walked to the window, looking at the sunlight. Yes, I carried him for 9 months. So I know better than anyone what a mother can do for her child. As chaos erupted in the living room, David being screamed at by his parents, nearly having a breakdown, the doorbell rang at the worst possible moment. I opened it to find an impeccably dressed young woman in a Chanel suit, though she couldn't hide her anxiety and distress. This was Luna from David's phone. Sophia Moon. Where's David? Why won't he answer my calls? He promised to give me the rest of the money today. My son needs this for surgery. Sophia burst in, taking in the scene, but immediately started her tearful demands. You, what are you doing here? David looked like he'd seen a ghost, instinctively trying to push her out. My in-laws were stunned, looking between Sophia and their guilty son. Who is she? David. Who is she? My mother-in-law pointed at Sophia, shaking with rage. Ma'am, you must be David's mother. Sophia ignored David's signals to leave, looking pitifully at my mother-in-law. I'm Sophia Moon. David and I truly love each other. He gave me $500,000 yesterday for my son's heart surgery, but we still need more. Shut up. David tried to cover her mouth. Let her talk. My mother-in-law shoved David aside, glaring at Sophia. $500,000? Money meant to save my grandson, you took it for someone else's kid? The truth came out in the most humiliating way. My father-in-law clutched his chest, nearly fainting. I didn't know about your grandson. Sophia was scared but still defending herself. But little Ryan is also David's child, your grandson too. He promised to take care of us. The air in the room seemed to freeze. Everyone stared at Sophia in shock. What did you say? Ryan is David's child? My mother-in-law's voice could cut glass. She was trembling all over. David. Is this true? David cowered like a cornered rat, mouth opening and closing soundlessly. Of course it's true. Sophia straightened up defiantly, tears glittering. David and I were together in college. We only broke up because our families objected. 3 years ago we met at a reunion. He said his marriage was unhappy, and we... Shut up. David finally found his voice, face red with shame. Now's not the time. Tyler's been kidnapped, we need to save him. But the money's already been given to the hospital. Surgery's tomorrow morning. Sophia's tears streamed down. If we cancel, Ryan might not get another chance. David looked between crying Sophia and stone-faced me, then said heavily, Mom. Ryan's heart condition is serious. If we miss this surgery, he might not live through the month. I turned to my in-laws, see clearly now. This is your precious son abandoning his legitimate child for his bastard. My mother-in-law staggered, gripping the wall to keep from falling. What about Tyler? The kidnappers gave an ultimatum: no money in an hour means we'll never see him alive again. My father-in-law was speechless, glaring with bloodshot eyes before slapping David. Animal. Are you even human? David's phone rang again. The room fell silent. David answered with shaking hands, putting it on speaker. Time's almost up. The kidnapper's voice was even colder. Made your decision? David looked at Sophia, then at me, his Adam's apple bobbing as he struggled to speak. I smiled coldly, pulling out another phone and calmly dialing. Hello, it's me. My voice was eerily calm. Execute the plan. Everyone stared at me in shock. Who are you talking to? David stammered. I ignored him, continuing, bring her son too. Sophia went pale. What are you saying? My son? What? Are you planning? I hung up, laughing coldly. I told you, for a child, a mother can do anything. David jumped up, grabbing my shoulders and shaking. Are you insane? Tyler's kidnapped and you're having Ryan kidnapped too. What are you thinking? I let him shake me, my smile growing colder. Didn't you want to make a choice? So choose save your son with Sophia, or save your son with me. David released me and collapsed like a deflated balloon. Sophia screamed, frantically grabbing her phone. I'm calling the police. You psycho. I calmly walked over and took her phone. Call them. Let the police judge who's really crazy, Hirim, or you two shameless people. David knelt, hugging my legs. Sarah, please, spare Ryan. This isn't his fault. Not his fault. I kicked him away. If you hadn't given all our money to that bastard, would Tyler be kidnapped without ransom? Suddenly David's phone rang again. Time's up, the kidnapper said. Looks like you're not saving anyone. Tyler's hoarse crying followed. Daddy. Mommy, save me. David screamed into the phone. Wait. Wait. We'll pay. Please don't hurt my son. Too late, the kidnapper said coldly. You made your choice. A scream came through, then Tyler's shriek. Daddy, save me. Daddy. No. Don't. David sobbed on his knees. I'll pay. I'll pay now. Too late, the kidnapper said. Unless. Unless what? David asked desperately. Anything. Just save my son. Unless you choose now, save this kid, or the one in the hospital. David froze. How do you know about? Choose quickly, the kidnapper snarled. Or both die. David looked between me and Sophia, sweat pouring down his face. Sophia grabbed his hands. David. You can't abandon Ryan. He's about to have surgery. My in-laws shouted. David. Tyler is your only son. Under everyone's gaze, David took a deep breath and spoke with difficulty. I choose Ryan. I felt my heart plunge into ice water, then burst into flames. So this was my husband's choice. At that moment, a weak voice came from the doorway. Daddy. Everyone froze, slowly turning toward the door. Tyler stood there, pale, tears silently streaming down his little face. The room fell deathly silent. Tyler's lips trembled, eyes full of tears and disbelief. Daddy, don't you want me anymore? David looked thunderstruck, all color draining from his face. Tyler? How are you? I walked to Tyler, gently putting my arm around his thin shoulders. Baby, did you hear that? Tyler nodded, fat tears rolling down. Daddy doesn't want me. Daddy chose another little boy. No. No. David lunged forward to hug Tyler, but I blocked him. Get away. I said coldly. You've made your choice. You have no right to touch my son. I didn't know Tyler was back. David clutched his hair desperately. I thought he was still with kidnappers. I laughed bitterly. So you could abandon him and choose your bastard? My mother-in-law collapsed on the sofa, crying and reaching out. Tyler, sweetie, come to Grandma. Tyler hid behind me, whispering, Grandma, I don't want to. I'm scared. My father-in-law knelt before Tyler, trembling. Don't be afraid, sweetheart. Grandpa's here. But Tyler pressed against me like a frightened rabbit. Mommy, can we go home? I don't want to stay here. Yes, Mommy will take you home. I gently wiped his tears. Sophia finally understood, staring at the unharmed Tyler in disbelief. What's going on? The kidnapping was fake? I laughed coldly. The kidnapping was really just hired actors to play the kidnappers. You fooled us all? David's eyes widened, voice cracking. Why would you do this? Why? My voice carried bone-chilling coldness. I wanted to see who you choose when forced to decide. Now I know, don't I? David opened his mouth but couldn't speak, kneeling helplessly as tears streamed down. David. Sophia stepped forward, gripping his hands. Don't listen to her lies. You made the right choice. Ryan's surgery can't wait. I studied this woman coldly, then smiled. Surgery? What surgery? Ryan isn't sick, is he? Sophia went pale. You're talking nonsense. I pulled documents from my purse, placing them on the coffee table. Hospital health certificate. Ryan is perfectly healthy, no heart condition. Impossible. Sophia screamed. I have the doctor's diagnosis. Oh, this? I produced another document. Forged. I had it investigated. The signature isn't from a cardiologist but an intern at your friend's clinic. Sophia's legs gave out, nearly collapsing. How do you know all this? I looked around coldly. I investigated for 2 months from the first time David snuck out to take mysterious calls. I hired a private investigator and found out everything. David looked up in horror. 2 months? You knew all along? Of course. Did you think I was too stupid to notice my own husband cheating? Then why didn't you say anything? David asked hoarsely. I looked at him with icy eyes. I wanted to see how shameless you could get. Turns out, more shameless than I imagined. My mother-in-law slowly stood up, pointing shakily at Sophia. You lying whore. Deceiving my son, trying to steal our money. Sophia protested. Ma'am, I'm not lying. Ryan is really sick. Enough. My father-in-law roared. Still lying. You're both worthless. David held his head, curled up. Dad, Mom, I'm sorry. I really didn't know. Didn't know? I laughed coldly, pulling out my phone to play a recording. Luna baby, don't worry, I've already transferred the $500,000. I'll figure out the rest. Ryan's condition isn't that serious, but with the diagnosis, we can convince my wife to agree to divorce. Then when we split assets. The recording cut off. The room fell silent. Again. Tyler gripped my clothes tightly, asking quietly, Mommy, doesn't Daddy want us anymore? I knelt down, gently wiping his tears. No baby, it's Mommy who doesn't want Daddy anymore. David crawled over desperately. Sarah, I was wrong. I know I was wrong. Give me one chance, I swear I'll never get away. I shoved him back. Don't you understand? This is over. Tyler suddenly broke free from my embrace and ran to David, tiny fists pounding his chest. I hate you. I hate you. You lied. You said you'd always love me and Mommy. You lied. David seemed drained of strength, letting Tyler hit him as tears streamed. Tyler. Daddy was wrong. Daddy was so wrong. My mother-in-law approached shakily, wanting to hold Tyler. Sweetheart, don't. Grandma's heart is breaking. But Tyler dodged her. You lied too. You said you loved me most, but you only care about Daddy. My father-in-law said with red eyes. Tyler, Grandma and Grandpa really love you. No you don't. Tyler sobbed loudly. If you loved me, why did you let Daddy hurt me and Mommy? I held Tyler tenderly. It's okay baby, don't be sad. Let's go home. The doorbell rang again. I opened the door to a uniformed police officer, Ms. Sarah Chen. We received reports of forged medical documents and fraud. Everyone was stunned. Sophia backed away in terror. I didn't commit fraud. The officer said politely, Ms. Moon, we need you to assist in our investigation. Also, Mr. Williams, you're suspected of aiding fraud. You need to come with us too. David looked at me desperately. Sarah, did you call the police? I shook my head. No, I just gave evidence to the right people. Come on, Tyler. I took my son's hand, turning to leave. Wait. My mother-in-law grabbed my sleeve. Where are you going? I glanced back at what was once our home, to our new home. From now on, Tyler and I will live well without your concern. But. She stamped frantically. Tyler is our grandson. Tyler suddenly spoke. Grandma, Mommy said family members protect each other. You never protected me and Mommy, so you're not my family. My mother-in-law looked struck by lightning, collapsing to the ground. My father-in-law wept. Tyler, don't say that. The officer interrupted politely. Sorry for the disturbance, but we need to take Mr. Williams and Ms. Moon. I led Tyler out without looking back. Behind us came David's desperate shouts. Tyler. Daddy really loves you. Tyler stopped, looking back at his father being led away by police. His lips trembled as he said, Daddy, Mommy says when you love someone, you put them first. You never put me and Mommy first, so you don't love us. With that, he gripped my hand tight and never looked back. Walking out of the complex, Tyler looked up at me with tears still in his eyes. Mommy, are we really never coming back? I smiled and ruffled his hair. Yes, baby, we're never coming back. But don't be afraid, Mommy will always be by your side, always put you first. Tyler nodded, finally showing a small smile. Mommy, I love you. After the kidnapping incident, Tyler and I moved to a small apartment downtown and started our new life. My mother came from our hometown to help care for Tyler so I could work. On moving day, Tyler asked, Mommy, will Daddy come looking for us? I stroked his head gently. Maybe, but we won't let him disturb our new life. Sure enough, after posting bail, David showed up at our complex entrance. Sarah. Tyler. He stood outside the security office shouting, blocked by guards. Please give me one chance. Tyler heard his voice and immediately hid behind me, gripping my clothes. Mommy, I don't want to see Daddy. I calmly called building management. There's someone harassing residents. At your entrance. Please handle it immediately. As security dragged David away, he kept shouting our names hoarsely. Get lost. I yelled from the window. What makes you think you can still come looking for us? That night my phone buzzed constantly with David's messages. Sarah, please give me one chance. Tyler, Daddy really misses you. I've cut all ties with Sophia. She lied to me. Ryan isn't even my child. I'll give you and Tyler everything. Just please forgive me. I marked all messages as spam and turned off my phone. The next morning, my mother returned from grocery shopping with a grim expression. Honey, that David spent the whole night squatting outside with a sign saying, I was wrong, please forgive me. I laughed coldly. Let him. As long as he doesn't come near Tyler and me. 2 days later, taking Tyler to school, I saw David at the gate holding Tyler's favorite Transformer toy. Tyler immediately hid behind me. Mommy, I don't want to go to school. I knelt down, gently hugging Tyler. Don't be afraid, baby. Mommy's here. Go inside, I'll handle this. Tyler nodded, encouraged by me to enter the school, but looked back at David with fear and disappointment. I walked up to David. You think bringing a toy will buy back your son's heart? David knelt on the ground, eyes red. Sarah, I know I was wrong, really wrong. Sophia's been arrested. DNA tests prove Ryan isn't my child. Oh. I laughed bitterly. So you abandoned your real son for someone else's bastard? Pathetic. I was deceived. David wept. I thought Ryan really was sick, really needed surgery. I never imagined Sophia would lie about that too. So what? I looked down at him. Deception or truth, it doesn't change your choice. You chose to abandon Tyler. That's fact. I know I was wrong. David's voice was hoarse. I've helped police gather all evidence of Sophia's fraud. She'll be sentenced to years. I sent Ryan to foster care. I just want you and Tyler back. I interrupted coldly. Back? On what grounds? Because you finally realized you were fooled? Because you sent that woman to prison? Because you dumped an innocent child in foster care? No. David tried to explain. I donated a large sum to the foster home to ensure Ryan gets the best care. Enough. I cut him off angrily. You know what's most disgusting? Not your affair, not giving money to your mistress, but how easily you can abandon a child who calls you daddy. This proves children were never important to you. You can abandon Ryan today, Tyler tomorrow. David collapsed. Sobbing, Sarah, I really know I was wrong, give me one chance. I turned and walked away, leaving one sentence, give up. We ended long ago. The next day at my office, reception told me someone was looking for me. I went out to find David holding roses and an elegant box. Sarah, he looked haggard but tried to smile. Today marks 13 years since we met. Do you remember? I frowned. What are you doing at my office? I wanted to surprise you. David carefully offered the box. Open it. Reluctantly I took the box. Inside were divorce papers and a property deed. This is our marital home, David's voice trembled. I've transferred it to you and Tyler's names. Also half my company shares, I've transferred those to you too. These divorce papers are signed, all assets go to you. I only ask for visitation rights with Tyler. I snapped the box shut, laughing coldly. Think this can buy my forgiveness? No, David quickly explained. I just want to show my sincerity. I really know I was wrong. Enough. I shoved the box back. I don't need your charity. My lawyer will prepare divorce papers. As for visitation, and even think about it. David knelt, hugging my legs. Sarah, please give me one chance to see Tyler. He's my only son. I coldly broke free. Get away. When you chose to abandon him, why didn't you think he was your only son? David wailed. I was really wrong. I'll spend my life atoning. I turned away, too late. That evening I got a call from David's parents saying he'd drunk a whole bottle of liquor and was in the ER. Sarah, my mother-in-law, sobbed. David really regrets it. He says life isn't worth living. Could you come see him? I replied calmly, if he wants to die, that's his business. Tyler and I won't change our lives for any of his dramatic gestures. After hanging up, I went to Tyler's room, looking at his peaceful sleeping face with absolute determination. No matter what tricks David and his parents pulled, I wouldn't soften because I knew their so-called changes and apologies were just desperate struggles after facing consequences. True love means putting someone first from the beginning, not learning to cherish them only after losing them. After David's discharge, I received a formal apology letter from his lawyer, detailing his remorse and compensation plans. Besides the mentioned property and shares, he promised substantial monthly child support and waived all visitation rights, completely respecting my decisions. Smart move, I said coldly to the letter. Realizing harassment doesn't work, changing tactics. My mother advised, honey, he is Tyler's biological father. Completely cutting ties might not be good for Tyler's future. I shook my head. Mom, you don't understand. David's type may seem apologetic on the surface, but deep down never changes. He's only doing this because Sophia fooled him and Ryan wasn't his child. What if Ryan really had been his? Would he have come back? Never. Just then Tyler came home from school with a card, looking upset. What's wrong, baby? I knelt down, gently touching his face. Tyler hesitated, then handed me the card. Daddy came to school today and gave me this. I took the card. It read, Son, Daddy misses you so much. Please forgive Daddy. Daddy has cut all ties with that lady and will never leave you and Mommy again. I suppressed my anger, asking gently, do you want to see Daddy? Tyler shook his head. No. He lies. He said he'd always love me, but he chose another little boy over me. I held Tyler tight. What a smart baby. Mommy will talk to your teacher tomorrow so he can't get near you. The next day at school, I saw David at the gate with a large backpack covered in Tyler's favorite cartoon keychains. Seeing me, he immediately approached. Sarah, please let me see Tyler. I bought his favorite backpack. I cut him off coldly. David, if you harass Tyler again, I'll get a restraining order. I just want to apologize. David's eyes filled with tears. Apologize? I laughed bitterly. You know what nightmares Tyler has because of you. He dreams you tell him Daddy doesn't want you, then abandon him on the street. He wakes up gasping, asking if it's because he wasn't good enough that Daddy doesn't want him. David went pale as a sheet. No, it's not Tyler's fault, it's all my fault. So, I said word by word, stay away from my son, or I won't let this go. I walked into school and found Tyler's teacher, Ms. Wong, explaining the situation and asking her not to let anyone near Tyler, especially his father. Ms. Wong nodded sympathetically. I understand, Ms. Chen. Actually, Tyler's been emotionally unstable lately. Sometimes he just starts crying. When I ask what's wrong, he says he misses Mommy. My heart nearly suffocated with pain. Thank you for telling me. I'll pay closer attention to Tyler's emotional state. That afternoon I went to pick up Tyler early and found a crowd at the school gate surrounding David, who was kneeling with a large sign, I am an unfit father. Please forgive me. Tyler saw this and curled up in my arms. Mommy, can we go another way? I picked up Tyler and went around the crowd, but heard David's voice. Tyler. Daddy's here. Daddy misses you. Tyler trembled all over, gripping my clothes. Mommy, I don't want to see Daddy. I held him tight. Don't be afraid. Mommy will take you home. As we were leaving, David suddenly rushed over and grabbed my arm. Sarah, please, just let me say a few words to Tyler. I shouted angrily, let go. Other parents stopped to watch, some filming. Others whispering. Tyler was crying in fear while David kept pestering us. Just then, a middle-aged man walked over and pushed David away. Sir, please respect this lady and child's wishes. David glared at the man. Mind your own business. That's my son. He may be your son, the man said calmly, but you're clearly harassing them. If you don't leave, I'm calling the police. David wanted to argue, but several parents gathered around, criticizing his behavior for frightening the child. Under the pressure, David finally left, but shouted as he went. Sarah, I won't give up. Tyler is my only son. The middle-aged man who'd helped us introduced himself politely. Hello, I'm Mr. Lin, a counseling psychologist at this school. I thanked him gratefully, but he shook his head. No need to thank me. Protecting students is my duty. The little one seems shaken. Need my help? Tyler hid behind me, shyly looking at Mr. Lin. Mr. Lin crouched to Tyler's eye level. Were you scared just now? Tyler nodded, whispering, yes, I don't want to see Daddy. Mr. Lin said gently, that's okay. You have the right to choose whether to see anyone, including Daddy. Tyler seemed to relax a bit, asking timidly, really? If I don't see Daddy, I won't become a bad boy? Of course not, Mr. Lin said firmly. You're a brave, good boy. I was nearly moved to tears. After thanking Mr. Lin, I took Tyler home. The next day I received an email from David containing a psychiatrist's diagnosis showing he was undergoing therapy to become a better father and husband. The email ended, Sarah, I don't expect your forgiveness, but please give me a chance to make amends, even if just to see Tyler from afar. I didn't reply, just quietly deleted the email. That evening Tyler suddenly asked, Mommy, if Daddy really changed, would we forgive him? I paused, then asked back, do you want to forgive him? Tyler lowered his head, I don't know. Sometimes I miss Daddy, but when I think of him choosing another child, I get so sad. I hugged Tyler, baby, forgiveness can't be forced, it comes from the heart. If someday your pain doesn't hurt so much anymore, you'll naturally know whether you can forgive Daddy. Tyler nodded, seeming somewhat relieved. Days passed. David and his parents' harassment gradually decreased. They finally understood that forcing only made things worse. Instead, child support arrived monthly, far exceeding court-mandated amounts, along with books and learning materials Tyler liked. One day after school, Tyler brought home an envelope containing a letter from David. Can I read it? Tyler asked hesitantly. I nodded, of course, it's your letter. Tyler opened the envelope to find just a few short lines. Tyler, Daddy knows he made an unforgivable mistake, but Daddy really loves you. If you don't want to see Daddy, Daddy respects your decision. Daddy will wait until the day you're willing to see him. Love always, Daddy. After reading, Tyler silently folded the letter and put it back in the envelope without speaking. I asked gently, want to write back? Tyler shook his head, no, but I don't want to throw it away either. I nodded understandingly, then keep it. Decide later when you're ready. 6 months later, David and I finalized our divorce. That day he stood outside the courthouse, watching me from afar with regret and despair in his eyes. Sarah, he called out, I know you won't forgive me, but please believe I really love Tyler. I stopped and turned to him, David, love isn't just words, it's actions. If you really love Tyler, give him time and space to decide whether to forgive you himself. David nodded, tears falling silently, I'll wait, however long it takes. Walking out of the courthouse. I took a deep breath, feeling like I'd shed a heavy burden. At home, Tyler seemed to sense something, asking, Mommy, are you and Daddy completely separated now? I nodded, yes baby. From now on, it's just us two depending on each other. Tyler was quiet for a moment, then suddenly said, Mommy, I think we'll be very happy because we have each other. I hugged Tyler tight, completely determined, yes, we'd be very happy, because we understood what true love was, putting the other person first, never betraying, never giving up.